Katie MacIntyre, and I'm your host for the Loving Cup Elevate Your Gratitude podcast. And we're coming to you today live from the FingerLakes1.com studios in Seneca Falls. And today is Friday, September 14th, 2018. So welcome. And before I introduce my guest today, I just wanted to share a quote from Thornton Wilder, who says, "We can only be said to be alive in those moments when our hearts are conscious of our treasures." And I thought that was a great quote for my guest Jill Fudo from Weedsport and Kim Fortin from Conquest. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
So I'd like to have my guest start off by introducing the other. So who would like to go first to introduce?
I'll start and introduce Jill.
Perfect.
So I've known Jill since, we were just trying to figure this out on the way over here, since 2009. We were introduced by some mutual friends. And initially we were introduced because we were looking for investors for our farm. And Jill and Jeremy invested in our farm. And from there, we've kind of jumped off into doing other business ventures together. So by training, Jill's an architect, and she's run her own architect business since 2004. And then in business together, we started a property development company called Jiki Jean Properties in 2012. And so we've been in business partnership since 2012 with that. And then starting last year, we kicked off a new business called Fierce with Love. And that's just Jill and I together. And we've been opened our lingerie boutique in June of this year. So we've been open for three months now. Exactly. Yeah, 3 months this weekend.
Congratulations.
In her free time, Jill likes to hike and kayak, so outdoor stuff.
Perfect.
So I had to ask Kim on our way here, really, what is it you do that's outside of your work? Because so much of their lives are dedicated to their work. So my friend Kim, she alluded to it, that she and her husband run a beautiful dairy goat farm in Conquest, and they've had that since 2008, and they've run that with a larger and larger herd each year, and she also is a LCSW, so she's a licensed clinical social worker and has had her practice, and we've shared a space in our building since 2012 in private practice, and you've been practicing privately, well, in public sector much longer than that, since 2004? Yeah. Yes. And so adjunct professor, multiple colleges, and in your free time outside of our businesses together, you like to trail ride with your horses and read and sleep a lot when you can. So I think that's it. I think that's you. And other than that, you're a giving soul, and you are very much someone who I have as a treasured friend. So
beautiful. That's a great friendship. So I look forward to hearing more about it as we talk. So would you share with me something that you're most grateful for from the past year? And either of you can go first.
Yeah. This past year's been busy and crazy with all of our different development things we have going on. So I think I'm most grateful for understanding friends. I have a great group of friends, and so it's been awesome to have people that are just like, I'm going to bring you dinner, or let's get together and we're cooking dinner tonight. Like all you have to do is show up, and food's going to be on the table. There's nothing you have to bring or do. So I'm very grateful for understanding friends, or when I have plans and I'm like, yeah, things came up with farm, I'm not going to make it, and they're completely understanding about that as well. So I think that's my gratitude with a busy year, to have understanding and supportive friends and family.
And who keep you nourished, it sounds
yes.
like. So that's really
I have
important
really
too.
Cooking friends.
That's great. How about for you, Jill?
I would say the last year has been a year that I would never have predicted, and so what I'm most grateful for in that year, beyond the fact that I have a husband who's been supportive of every twist and turn that we've taken, is is back to the friends as well. We've had amazing support from our friends. My family network has kind of been either diminished or very remote, and so it's hard to get that support from family that I had before that, but I'm very grateful for that. The friends have stepped up where that family has been absent, and we've had some amazing support from friends as well. So yeah.
That's great. And it sounds like you both have friends that are pretty intuitive, so it's not like you have to ask them to come and help you. They're showing up with that. The gift you didn't know you needed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest awakenings that I've had in the last year as well, is that understanding that it's there, that quiet kind of comfort and reassurance that we haven't been aware, like not consciously aware of before. So. Yeah.
Is it something where like it's present and you don't remember what it was like before it wasn't there? Is it that?
I think so.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I think so.
Nice. What about if you think about your whole entire life? Is there something that bubbles to the top that you're most grateful for?
You're going to go first the whole time. Just be ready for it.
She's like, Kim.
I think it's recognizing the privilege that I have, that I've had the opportunities to follow whatever dreams I've had, and I've had supportive family or friends or finances or just connections, just the opportunities that I often take for granted, and trying not to do that and to be grateful for them and recognize them and speak of them or recognize them.
Yeah.
That sometimes we coast through life, or at least I coast through life and take them for granted, and trying not to do that. Just recognizing that privilege that I've had.
And you're doing great things, so it's awesome that all of those things have come together the way they have.
It's an eclectic life, I guess.
Well, I love goats, so I'm a fan already. Goats and goat cheese, like them both. How about for you, Jill? For your whole life?
I think I'm going to follow Kim on this one, but I think that I'm very much grateful for my parents setting my life on a path of recognizing the gifts of others, and through their gifts being able to grow myself. So I think that's really, I'm grateful for them for instilling that from the very beginning. So, that kind of understanding of the struggle of others, the empathy, but also grateful for the hard work of others, that allows us to kind of come into whatever opportunities come for us, or that we work for. I hesitate to use the word deserve, and I hesitate to use the word entitled, but I do think that there are things that are allowed us because of the experiences and the struggles of others, and so I'm grateful for that. I was telling Kim a couple minutes ago on our way here that I think my introduction to true gratitude and recognition of gratitude was when my mom had breast cancer in 2001, and we were talking about her path through her recovery once she had surgery, and she said, right now I'm just grateful for the time that the doctors spent dedicating themselves to their studies and their ability to get me through this in a way that gives me the opportunity on the other side to have a life. Mm-hmm. And I think that's, to me, one of those moments where you understand that gratitude is something so much more powerful than anything else. So there we go. There's my that's my whole life.
And I didn't cry, but I get what you're saying. I really, on a very personal level, understand your mom's sentiments, and that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for letting me. I appreciate it.
So would you each take a moment to share what you're most grateful for in the other? And I love this one because we don't often get a chance to do this with people that we care about.
I make you cry.
You do.
I appreciate so much about Jill, that she's willing to take on or at least entertain any weird, wacky idea that I have. Like, hey, what about this? Hey, why don't we try this? She's always game to sit and listen through the whole idea and then talk through it and be like, okay, so what are the strengths of doing that? What are the weaknesses of doing that? How are you going to make that happen? She's very good about analyzing the different angles of the idea. I appreciate that we can have complete, honest conversations, and sometimes it can be Jill's like family as far as how our relationship is and how we treat each other and talk to each other, and I can just say whatever I need to say or want to say. I don't have to censor myself, and I'm really grateful that I have someone like that and that I see almost daily with our office space, and thank you for that.
Yeah, I think that I would go one beyond that or one on that, and I would say that I like the fact that you challenge me and you call my bluff on stuff when I'm bringing stuff up and I haven't thought it through, and I have just these kind of seeds of ideas, and you allow me that opportunity to really just live in it for a little while without telling me, you know what, you're wasting your time, or this is something that'll never come to anything, because honestly, I don't think that either of us would be where we're at right now in this weird spot with our business, that if we hadn't allowed each other that space for it and really started to understand what it meant to each other, So I also like the fact that you tell me when, straight up when something is just wrong. And again, it is that whole familiarity of family and allowing that filter to kind of go away, that filter of having to worry about offense, so that would be.
That's good. Do both of you have siblings or not have siblings?
I have a younger brother and sister.
I have a brother.
Okay. And are they near here?
No.
So that's an awesome gift, like to have a sister that you work with.
I've always wanted one. I told my parents they were awful people for never giving me a sister, and I guess that's pretty much,
She just came later.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's better after the teenage drama. This is ideal, I think. It's good. I know for maybe people aren't familiar with your work, Jill, but I think many folks are familiar with the play space, which I'm so grateful for, because I feel like you are a very big part of that gift with all of your beautiful design work, and that's really a treasure for families, not just in Auburn, but in the region. They come from Onondaga County and Seneca County, so I just want to say thank you to you for.
Thank you.
I just visited it for the first time this past
Isn't
week.
It wonderful?
And it is awesome.
Yeah, it's a really special place.
I'm really glad that I could have a role in it, whatever it was, and I personally don't feel that my role was that strong, but I'm really glad to have had a role at all, and I think that's a big grateful for me. I'm grateful for having that opportunity. Well, I remember that
board meeting, and they were like, does anyone know an architect? I'm like, I have the perfect person. So it's good.
Well, that's another thing that I'm grateful for, is the gift that my mom gave me of understanding how to network, and she always was putting people together that she felt might not reach each other otherwise, but she found connection in meeting them and knowing that they had these gifts that they could share with each other. And I think that's one of the great gifts that I got from her in her lifetime, was that opportunity to understand how to put people together. And one of our good friends put us together, and I really appreciate that from him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but beyond that, I do think that's, I appreciate you putting me in touch with them and giving me that opportunity too. So there you go, Katie. Thank you.
It's all good. All good. So before today, did you think much about gratitude? Is that something that's been part of your life?
I pushed. So my other position is a mental health therapist. I'm a clinical social worker, as Jill mentioned, and I'm always pushing my clients to think about gratitude and taking time to recognize what they're thankful for in their life, because I think it is so important. And like I said, when we stop and think about it, we can come up with a long list of things, but oftentimes we just kind of coast through life and don't acknowledge it. And so that's one thing that I do encourage my clients to do.
That's great. And for you, did you think about gratitude much?
Absolutely. And we've talked about it with our kids, and we've talked about it in our marriage. And looking at it, it becomes very easy to look at the things that don't work and the things that aren't right. And it's a little bit more difficult to acknowledge what is good. And that benefit is there in understanding what's good, because it's easier to go forward when you have positive that's come from your past. Whereas you looking at negative that's been in your past, it's very hard to go forward. So we try to live in that space of gratitude and appreciation for where we are.
That's
so
super.
Yes, yeah,
good. What about in the community? So you're involved. I mean, you live in different communities, but you work and do things in different communities. So community in general, however you want to interpret it. But
I think our community is Central New York.
Yeah. So if you can talk to me about what you're grateful for about your community.
This past year, I've been really grateful about how or the past 6 months, about how supportive everyone's been with our new business. Initially, we always get like this skeptical look about a lingerie store in Weedsport. But then when we tell people, we're looking at it as an empowering space for women, as a comfortable space. So we recognize that bra shopping is not on most people's top favorite thing to do, and we want to make it a comfortable, welcoming, enjoyable space that can meet everybody's needs wherever they're at in their lifespan or beliefs or desires in their undergarments. And once we tell people what we're doing and why, everyone's been very supportive and encouraging about it. And so I think that's been one of the things I've been grateful for in our community, like our local community, is just that support and support that people have given us once we've explained our new business.
So it seems fast, like 3 months went by fast.
Yes.
Crazy fast.
So if people want to come to your shop, will you talk a little bit more about your shop and what kinds of things people can find there? And
Absolutely.
Okay.
So our shop, we have everything from small band, small cups, so 28 A's, all the way up to 42 G's, 44 G's, sorry. And we carry primarily everyday wear for women. But we also have a section for teens and tweens, those who are just starting out in their kind of transition to adulthood. And we're trying to create a space where that relationship with your body becomes something that's not a point of shame or point of anxiety, but something that all girls can embrace going forward. And we also have, beyond that, we have some bridal and special occasion stuff. And then our growing inventory right now is in maternity, nursing, and kind of in that area. So we've got a large selection of, I don't want to call them accessories, but stuff to go with it. We've got some balms and some lotions, and we've also got, breastfeeding accessories, not pumps. We haven't, because those are medical and we can't sell them in a lingerie store.
But things to make it easier and more comfortable.
Absolutely, yes. And our products are all all ethically sourced, so they come from a place of not only, we felt that, I'm going to back up, we felt that in our offerings, since our mission is to embrace and empower women through their undergarment choices, that we not create a situation at any point during the manufacture and production of our products to put women in that place of being repressed, oppressed, of being unsafe, of having to live a life that is less than a baseline lifestyle. And so all of our stuff is fair trade. It falls under the California 2015 Initiative for Transparency in Manufacturing, or the European Standard for Transparency in Manufacturing, both of which are, basically safe workplace, living wage, and ethical treatment of human beings. So that for us is one of our primary criteria for selection of product. And then the second part is that and the objectification and sexualization of women through marketing. And so any manufacturer we use does not. The second we find marketing materials for those companies, they are off our list. So we want to be able to, kind of empower through our choices. And there's a whole narrative about those ethical choices and, whether or not they actually make a difference. But we felt that for us, it made a difference in our store. And I don't really care about the rest of the world, to be very honest with you.
It's great because your customers don't have to worry about that. You've done all that work for them. So.
Hours and hours of vetting per.
I imagine.
Yeah. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah. So, we felt that was one of our absolute baselines, that nothing could come into our store that was that way. And then on top of it, we wanted something that was beautiful, that, didn't put us in a place where we were being objectified, and allowed us to kind of take that, that European standard of, self-care and transplant it here in Central New York. There's nothing like us around.
So it is in Weedsport. Can you tell folks just the hours and the address and where to find you on social media?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
So our physical location is 8914 North Seneca Street in Weedsport. So that's right on the main street that you would take on Route 34. We're on Facebook and Instagram, Fierce with Love. And our store hours are Thursday and Friday, 3 to 7, and Saturday, 3 to 7.
Noon to 7.
I'm sorry. Let me start over. Thursday and Friday, 3 to 7, Saturday, noon to 7, and Sunday, noon to 5. And then by appointments any other time. So if those hours don't work for someone, or they want a private fitting where no one else is going to be in the boutique, they can call the main line, which is 834-7008, and request a private fitting or a private event. We do birthday showers or bridal showers, or just a girls' night out together. If you want to get together with some friends and come try on clothes, you can set up a private time to come do that.
And how many people could come to a private event?
I would say 6 to 8 is probably the best number. We could probably accommodate a little bit higher, but it would be
most
a little bit
comfortable is 6 to 8.
Yeah.
Okay, super.
We could do more if we figured out, if we knew ahead of time enough. But we have, quite honestly, it's about making sure that everybody gets good attention when they're in our store, and we want to make sure that they have a personalized fit when they're there. And if somebody feels uncomfortable with that, we certainly will give them their space, but we want to make sure that if they're in our store, we offer that opportunity. So that's why we keep the number in that 6 to 8 range for our staffing and just general viability of the space.
Okay.
Yeah. One other thing with community gratefulness.
Yes.
We talked about local supports. Jill and I have no experience in retail business or lingerie business. This was all brand new as of last November when we started business planning. The support and care and kindness we have received from the lingerie industry has been completely amazing. Like, these people have been absolutely wonderful and helpful and supportive in our endeavors. It was very refreshing.
And that's global, right?
Yeah, it was
absolutely
wonderful.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been anybody who's been a naysayer or, what business do you have doing this kind of thing? That's great, you want to do this. Here are some tips.
Awesome.
Or these are the people you need to talk to. Or here's a great resource. And so for us, it's been empowering. It's been pretty wonderful to come in, especially from my background in architecture, to have that kind of encouragement, because I certainly never saw it in architecture. It was always no.
It's a different bird.
Yeah, it's a very different bird. It was beautiful. It's been beautiful, to be very honest with you. So I appreciate you remembering that, because
shout out to the global community.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what if somebody listening is thinking, I'd like to tell somebody that I'd like that for a gift? So can they get a gift card?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We have online gift cards available, as well as in-store physical cards.
Okay, fun.
Yeah, so if you go to our website, fiercewithlove.com, there's a section to click on that says gift card, and then you can order one right on there, email it to someone, or print out a hard copy to put into a card, or you can come into the store and get a nice little fancy physical card.
Okay. Because before we know it, it's going to be time to give gifts, right?
Yes, and our online store will be coming within the month.
Hopefully
We're
the next
working.
month.
We're working so that anything that's available in our store will also be available online. So.
Oh, super.
Yeah.
That's great. So if I need to
Reorder.
shop from my kitchen on my phone, I can do that.
Absolutely, or reorder something. I mean, we always encourage people to come in and get a true fitting, because every manufacturer is just a little bit different, and every fit is just a little bit different. And I had a woman come in yesterday. She tried on 15 bras, and she walked out with 2, and she was very happy with the 2 that she got. But it was a matter of just making, sometimes it's skin tone, and sometimes it's fit, and just so really to encourage that true fit experience, I would recommend that people come into our store. But on the other side of it, if you're reordering, great, use our website, or if you want to see what we have for inventory that's new, check us out there, and then come on in and try it out, because no better. We hate to have returns.
Sure, and I mean we're all
somebody disappointed.
A little bit.
Yeah.
We're all our own person, and,
Absolutely.
and we have to make sure it's the right thing. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we have just a couple more minutes. I wanted to ask you each if you have a gratitude practice, if there's something that you do to infuse gratitude into your own life, and if you could share it with us.
I would say I'm inconsistent with it. Ideally, I would like to take 5 minutes every night and review what's happened for the day and what I'm grateful for each day. I would say I do it probably once a week. Either just, like I said, laying in bed before I go to sleep, or sitting down and journaling. So that would be my 2. Preferably once a day, usually only once a week.
Well, you could say weekly I do this, but
Yes.
my goal coming up is
There
to
you
try
go.
to do it every day, and then you're doing awesome.
Very nice.
It's good.
Great
I think no
reframe.
matter how frequently,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you're doing that, there's benefit. And you must know this, but there's true health benefits
Yes.
to reflecting on what you're
Mhm.
grateful for, and it's free. How about for you, Joe?
I think mine comes with regifting, or with gifting others. And so when I feel like I've been unfairly gifted, does that make sense? That I feel like my balance is off. Like I kind of look at, have I been doing enough for others? And I know that when gifts come my way, I'm extremely grateful for them, and I recognize them for what they are. And I think that's one of the places where I start to realize that I've gotten a little, I start to look at it, I'm like, gosh, I'm really not holding up my end of the bargain with my friends and with my family and with my neighbors. I need to be more cognizant of how I'm behaving. And so, it's that recentering. So yeah, I don't think mine's as structured as I'd like it to be, but I think that I do recognize and I do kind of evaluate where I am in my gratitude on a regular basis, but not as much as I should. So there you go.
Well, maybe we could set a challenge for everybody watching to step up your gratitude game. And at our house, we have gratitude jars. So we have a family practice, but we have little slips of paper in these quart-sized jars. We keep it on our mantle, and we write things that we're grateful for. Or we put things in there that remind us of things we're grateful for, and then we open it at the end of the year.
Nice.
And usually we've forgotten a lot of those small or big moments, but it's fun to celebrate them. So that's what we do.
Oh, and it's a nice visual reminder too.
It is, and we have all of the years of the jars that we've done. So we started it in 2013, so we're on our 5th jar. So it's fun.
That's a
So,
great
yeah.
way to year in review.
It is, yeah. And it's great. So anyone's welcome to try that. It's a fun thing to do. So we are at the end of our time. It always goes so quickly, but I wanted to just say thank you to you both for coming and being on the show and sharing each other and your feelings about each other, and also about your new endeavor. So good luck with Fierce with Love.
Hey, thank
it's
you.
It's a gift for the community. And we will be back next week with 2 more guests. You'll be surprised to see who they are. I'm not going to reveal that, but you'll definitely want to tune in. And until then, be well and share your gratitude. Have a great day.